welcome back to a brand new episode of NH Unscripted, you lucky listeners. I don't want to take up too much time here. I had a chance to head out to the Barnstormers out in Tamworth this past weekend, talk to some of the cast members out there, and I really want to get into it. So before long, let me thank my sponsor, Shaheen Gordon, the law offices of Shaheen Gordon in Concord, actually all around the state, because everyone should know a good lawyer. Remember, not every case can be settled by agreement, and sometimes you have to go to trial, right? Yeah. So you're going to need a good lawyer. ShaheenGordon.com is their URL. 603-614-5560. We so appreciate them sponsoring NH Unscripted. The law offices of Shaheen Gordon. ShaheenGordon.com, again, is their URL. All right, I think we're just going to jump right into this. Sir, if you would.
The time has come for the 25th annual Putnam Spelling Bee, right?
Yes, the time is now. The time is here.
Yeah, so it's bittersweet though, right? Because you're opening opening night of the last production of the season.
It is bittersweet. Sarah and I were both in the first show as well. So It seems like nice bookends for us because we were here in the beginning and now the end. But it certainly is bittersweet because I know both of us kind of think of this as a theater home.
Yes.
So this season is coming to a close for the summer.
Oh, no.
It's been a blast.
Yeah, and it's been a fun summer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Has it really?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. And I love the chance to get 2 shows in a season here. And like Tamworth in June and Barnstormers in June is a different theater to me than it is in August.
Yeah, I was just saying that.
Weather-wise, production-wise, even sickness-wise this year. So it's kind of been, it's the same theater, but we've been dealt a completely different hand.
Yeah, very different experience. Still wonderful, but
still wonderful, yeah.
Having those 2 different times really does, it's a change.
It is.
I said when I was here in the beginning of the summer, it felt like an entirely different time, season. It even feels fall-y now.
Yeah.
So just the whole vibe of, the people, the town, the theater is quite different from the beginning of the summer to the end, I will say.
Yeah.
So before we go too far, and then I do want to talk about the play itself, but then actor to actor, I like to talk a lot about the mechanics and, what goes into your character study and all of that.
Great.
But why don't you tell me your full name and the character you're playing, and then we'll go on from there.
Awesome. I'm Sarah Coombs, and I'm playing Rona Lisa Peretti, the host.
And I am Lee Hollis-Bussey, and I play Chip Tolentino.
I see. So let's talk a little bit about the play. So it's a spelling bee, technically, but there's a lot more going on here than just a spelling bee.
Sure.
So can you give us maybe a concise description of really what the audience can kind of expect, besides the fact that it's a spelling bee?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it begins with Rona's character and a flashback to her moment when she won the 3rd annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. So you immediately get the sense that there's a very childlike spirit kind of weaved throughout the whole entire show. And I think it uses a spelling bee, but the show is really about your inner child and children finding themselves and growing up and making decisions for themselves. And so the bee kind of is just what do I want to say? A concept or a holding mechanism for all of these children to kind of find and self-discover themselves throughout the bee. Whether they win, whether they lose, they learn something.
Yeah.
They leave the bee with something they didn't come in with.
Yeah. And I think that is a big running theme as well. We all know that it's a spelling bee, and that's very obvious from the title and the flyers and what people see, but there's a lot of heart here. And I think when people come and see it and get to know the characters and get invested in what's happening with each one of these kids, it becomes something that you care about, that you're invested in, that really is quite special. And the book is so great because it is hilarious. This is my 5th time doing the show.
It is.
And I would be sitting in rehearsals on the side, even still, tech up until opening, and both of us will be sitting out here watching something and just still laugh at what's going on.
It feels fresh every time.
It feels so good.
Yep.
So it's a testament to that
Yes.
how good the script is and how good the show is, because it is funny, but it has heart. And I think a lot of times with musicals, the book can be a little wonky and we can be missing some things along the way. But I think with this, it's really full body and you really get a full, great night of theater because you're laughing, you care, you're invested. So
absolutely,
it's really something that you walk away being like, I'm happy I came. I'm happy that I went and saw that. It's a really good piece of theater.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think it's really great because most of the characters' inner thoughts, or you get to know the characters through song, and it's not dialogue. The dialogue is what's quick and fun and bantery, but then the songs are what unpacks each character.
Yeah.
And so the tempo depends on the character. The wordplay in the songs depend on the character.
So smart.
So the music really informs the audience on who each person is on stage.
Yeah. Is this your first time?
This is my first time
is.
playing the role. Yep.
Have you been looking forward to it?
Oh my goodness. It's a dream role.
Yeah.
12-year-old Sarah would be in the car with the Broadway cast recording.
Are you the one on Instagram? I saw that said that.
Yes. That must be me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been waiting.
Dream roll alert.
What did it say on Instagram?
I posted dream roll alert.
I'm like, oh, she can die happy now.
Exactly.
She's done it.
yeah. And I will play this role as many times as people want to give me this job. So yeah, I've really enjoyed unpacking Rona, and I look forward to developing Rona even more with audiences in the house.
I'm glad you said that because I wanted to get back to the fact that you said this is your 5th time doing it. So when we take on a role, especially if it's the first time we've done it, it's kind of a very generic approach, even though we like to think we can delve in and get deep. There's a lot of times after we've done the production and we've kind of like had chance to rest and our mind has been able to absorb everything, we think, oh, I could have done that. Why didn't I? And so, Lee, are there things that you're doing now that you have embellished the character a little bit more? It's gotten a little deeper or funnier? Or
That's a great question. So the role that I'm playing this time around, I've only done once before.
Okay.
And I did another role 3 times before. All of the times that I've done it before has been over 15 years ago, which is crazy. But this show was on Broadway in 2005. So when I was graduating school and coming out of college in 2010, it was very popular. So I was doing it kind of back to back then. I think the last time I did it was like maybe it was 2000. It was right around when I graduated that whole year. So having had such a long time away from it, it's funny because I remember the last time I did do the show, I was playing the role that I'm playing now. So it's funny because I feel myself doing so many of the same things, yet discovering new things and having a much later approach to the character and what I'm doing and how I feel things should be done and how I can do things differently.
Yes.
And nothing is really wrong or right, but it's different. And it's really interesting to revisit it so much later and after so much time has gone by and really feel like, I don't know if I feel like I'm making up for wrongs that I did before, but it certainly is wonderful to get another go at it. And after so much time and having had so many years under my belt professionally, because I had just graduated school at that, I was a new professional at that point when I was doing it so many times. So it just feels a little bit more, I don't know. I feel like I know what I'm doing a little bit more and I know what it is. So
and you're more comfortable now, right?
I think so.
You would hope, right?
I think so. I think after so many years in the business, if you don't believe and back yourself and believe and back yourself of what you're doing in your work, no one will believe it and no one will back you. So I think that above all else, what we need to carry as artists is a sense of knowing and a sense of believing and a sense of backing yourself and understanding that if I'm making these choices and I'm making these decisions and this is my intention and this is what's happening, then this is what it is and everyone will buy into it if I certainly 100% do.
Yeah.
So I think over the years, I've learned that as an artist and as an actor, there's not a lot of room for self-doubt. So
and yet we're such insecure people.
I know, and that's normal. And that comes with what we do, right? But I think when we step on this stage and we do it, I've learned that I know what I'm doing and I can certainly drive the car and I know the directions and I know how to get there.
Yes.
So that feels good because I feel like I have a very good hand on the material and the role.
Yeah. Sarah, so you've had time. You said when you were a child, 12, that
He
this
was actually 15.
all right. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm a little older than her.
So you've had plenty of time to like think about the role.
Sure.
So anticipating it, are you able to like bring things now that you're like, oh, I want to try this so bad. I think I can really, and have you seen the show itself? Okay.
Yeah.
So having looked at other people do it, are there things now that you think individually you've brought that are going to make it that much deeper, more
yeah, absolutely. Crisp? I think when I was listening to I got the soundtrack first. So when I was listening to the soundtrack, I never thought I would be able to sing a role like this. Like, I was like, no way. That's not in my wheelhouse. That's not in my toolbox. So I always was like, oh, maybe I'll be a Logan, you know? And so I kind of put Rona to bed for all my like musical theater education, my early career. And then one day, like, my voice just elevated up into the soprano range. And I was like revisiting roles as a child that I dreamed of.
Man, that thing is loaded. What a great interview. You are listening to NH Unscripted, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord, 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester, and our URL is nhtalkradio.com. We are coming in from the Taj Mahal-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. We'll be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. You are listening to a pre-recorded interview that I did with some of the cast members from the Barnstormers Theater out in Tamworth for their production of the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Yeah. We are coming to you from the YMCA-like conditions of the WKXL studios in Concord. Let's finish this up.
And so I would sing Rona's stuff, like the I Love You song, every now and then. And I'd be like, I can kind of do this. But still, I didn't believe fully. And I really believe what Lee says. If you don't believe you can do a role, nobody's going to back you.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it was until like the past like 3-ish years that I believed like, I'm going to audition for Rona when it comes up in my life and I'm going to get it. And so I don't think I prepared for Rona. I think my life experience, my vocal training experience prepared me for it, but it wasn't like a direct like preparation for this role. And so I really only started preparing when I saw Barnstormers was doing Spelling Bee. And I worked on that audition like tirelessly. And
were you like
I was,
this is my moment.
I was. And I called Jordan and I was like,
oh, you did?
I am going to audition for Rona Lisa Peretti. And I was like, at Barnstormers, they really know me as a chorus girl and choreographer. I've never had a singing role on this stage before.
Really?
This is my first singing role.
I didn't know that.
What?
I mean, I sing in the ensemble for all of their shows and stuff, but I was first hired at this theater back in 2011 as choreographer. So I kind of came up through the dance ranks here. And then I was in a couple plays and people were like, oh, you're funny. Oh, you can do plays. And I was like, thank you. And so now I was like, Jordan, just hear me sing, hear me act, look at me act. I'm going to make choices
for you.
And I sent in a tape and he called me immediately and was like, what? That was, I didn't know you had that in you. So he sent it off to the director to be reviewed. And yeah. And so once I officially got the role, I started working. And I think Rona I think she can be played many different ways. Mm-hmm. I think when I saw it on Broadway back my sophomore year of high school, she was still funny, but she was more buttoned up than I think my Rona is. I think I kind of look at my Rona as like this foundation that's cracking and like her sparkles are coming through the cracks and she can't contain it because winning the 3rd annual Putnam County Spelling Bee was her peak in life. And she is trying to chase that high again and again and again by hosting this bee. And so I kind of like that I don't have to do it like what I saw on Broadway back in 2006 or whatever. I like that I can kind of make her a little zanier and a little kookier while still carry the same heart and care that she has for these children, because she sees herself in these kids.
She's one of them.
And she's one of them. And she wants to see them succeed, and not just to win it, but succeed in themselves, because it's something she didn't have for herself. Like winning was the only thing she cared about.
One of the, yeah, it does. It does. It also brings another question, but,
Sure.
I'll get to that in a minute. Because I want to make sure I focus on the show. Lee, the biggest challenge for yourself and the other students is to sell the student part, that you're young, that how in your own way are you able, because if we don't buy in as an audience, the first time we see you, we're out. We've kind of checked out. And so it becomes very imperative that you sell it to us as soon as we see you. So
100%.
What have you done? What has everybody done? Maybe if you want to do that, knowing that pressure's there, because they'll just check out on you.
Yeah, I think a really good thing for me that I did is I'm lucky because I have a little cousin who is Chip's age and who is a Boy Scout. So when I was doing my last show, which ended right before this started, I started doing FaceTimes with him.
Oh, good for you.
And just kind of like, and not being like, so tell me what's going on and what did you do in school today? Just normal.
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, hey, I want to be more in touch. So I got a chance to really like watch and kind of see what he was doing. I think it's also good to just, anytime now, it was funny when I was doing South, the last project that I was doing, anytime that I saw a child that was around the age, I think normally it would completely go over my head, but I was like, what is he doing? And how is he walking? And how does he talk? And where are they going? And what are they running around? And what aisle are they running to?
Yeah.
So anything would catch my attention. So I really started to pay attention to it. It's a fun thing because I approach it in a way of a character role, because I feel like it is. Yeah. And, there's a whole voice and a whole persona, and, just really paying attention to physicality and tonal, and all these kids kind of want the same thing. So it's like, what are the stakes for the kids, and how Chip, I don't think I'm giving anything away by saying he was the previous winner. From the year prior. So there is a responsibility there. There is a pressure, but there's also a confidence and a smugness and I've done this before, so I kind of know how it goes. This will be easy. So I think with all of what I see from each one of my colleagues also is the want is there from everyone, and the cast is wonderful, but I think to varying degrees of what and how and what's at stake is really cool to see, because honestly, everyone is nailing the kids, and you'll see when you come tomorrow, that isn't, that certainly is wonderful from everyone. But what's really impressive is the stakes for everyone, and
everybody's
how and
playing their
why
objective.
They want
and that's why it's
what
believable.
That means and what it is for each one of them. I love seeing that from everyone. So I think I can't speak for the rest of the kids, but it was just a lot of watching. I was talking to little Roy about what was going on with him, and, just really embodying that kid. And it's just easier for me, the voice and the physicality just really helps. And above all else, it's fun. Yeah. So it doesn't feel like I was doing the Scar and the Lion King, a couple of months before this. And it's not that it wasn't fun, but the voice and the persona was something so different, a different resonance, completely different thing. And it wasn't not fun, but this is fun. So that felt more like work, and it felt more like I got to get into this, and the voice is this, and it's all these different things. And I think for this, it's fun. And I could do it 8 shows a week, and I could do it repetitively, and
that says a lot.
Action, right? and it does, because what I always say is a lot of times I'm doing a show, depending on what it is, if I show up to work at the theater in whatever beautiful town I'm in at a regional house after being at the beach all day, and I walk in and I'm like, I can't wait to do this, I'm so excited that we're here, I'm ready to do this, that's how you know it's a good show, it's a good group, it's a good experience. And that's one of these. So it's fun, I don't mind it, and it really, every time it's been wonderful. Not that we've done it so many times.
Yeah, I know. We're talking like we've been rehearsing. We had about 5 days.
I know.
Yeah. So above all else, it's the work that at least I've put in has been fun work. And it makes it's the reminder of when payday comes and it's time. You're like, oh, right.
Yeah, right.
Forgot.
Yeah. That's
Like, this
my
is
job.
just a good time, you know.
Is it a live orchestra or are we using track?
Yeah, live orchestra.
Live.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I'm so glad
Four-piece
to hear
orchestra.
that.
They're incredible.
Yeah.
Like they take this to a new level.
Yeah, and it's so nice
and
having that.
Michael Urswa is a great music director, a great band leader. And like he says, like when he sits down to play the show, it is Broadway for him. Like he is in the zone. He has got our back. And we know, like, we're not failing.
Yeah.
He's at the front.
So you haven't had an audience yet, and well, a regular
We had
audience.
a tiny audience last night.
Yeah,
Dress.
yeah.
Invited dress, which
Yeah.
they were wonderful.
They were great. Yes.
So I have seen the show, and I know it is. When you say it's hysterical, that is not an understatement. That is spot on, and especially in the whole first act, there are so many one-liners. So many one-liners. They're so good. They're all gold. But it'll be the first time tonight that you'll have an audience, and you'll have to wait for those breaks, right? Wait for the audience to kind of either catch it or just to settle down.
Yeah.
And so that's a whole different feeling. Audiences don't usually understand that we have to do that.
Yeah. And this show is unique because we actually have 4 audience volunteers
That's right.
that play spellers at the beat. So we start the show and I call up the 4 audience spellers and they become spellers with the children.
And fully engrossed in the show.
Yeah. And every time they get up to spell a word, there's a quick line of information or a little bit of a jab about them. And they don't know that.
Yeah,
so
those are great one-liners for that
really
too. They
fun.
are. They?
Yeah, it's really great because another really awesome component of the show is that it really will be different every performance based on the volunteers that we have.
Ooh, baby, there is so much meat in that interview. I love talking to those folks out there at the Barnstormers. You're listening to NH Unscripted. We are coming to you from the dating game like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. 2 more segments to go. We will be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. Yeah, baby, you are listening to a pre-recorded interview I had with some of the cast members from the Barnstorm Theater's production of Spelling Bee. It's a little longer than that, the title, but hey, 101.9 FM, we are coming to you on your transistor radios. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Block 3 coming up. Let's do it.
So I've been trying to tell some of the my cast members who haven't done it, you know, I'm like, it just won't be set.
Yeah, it's not a set thing.
And they, Sarah and Blair, who plays our Panch, the 2 adults who run the Bee, have so much control and there's so much room for a lot of this show is improv.
I was just going to say that. The exact word I was going to use.
Yep. So it's really fun because they're both so wonderful and they have control to kind of change up some of the jokes and switch up some of the stuff based on who's, and I think we all kind of have a little bit of moments like that. I have a particular line where I can change it up based off, but there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
So it makes it really fun because every night's different. Every speller audience volunteer is different. So, you know, we never know what we're really going to get.
Yeah. You're going to have to be on your toes.
Energy-wise and spelling-wise. They may be an excellent speller.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They're actually spelling. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Oh, my God. What do you hope? Obviously, it's very upbeat. It's very fun. The second act, it's a little bit darker. I don't know if dark's really the way to go. But at the end of the night, when the audience is leaving, what chatter do you hope you're hearing them talk about as they go out?
I hope they leave saying that they had a really good time or it was something that they didn't expect. Like, I think if you come in thinking it's a show about spelling bees, you might think that that's a little boring. You might think that that's like, oh, people come up to a mic, spell a word and go out.
Yeah.
But the musical numbers in this musical are just so fun, so engaging, and so like, what is happening that I think it's just going to leave them with a heightened experience. Like, oh, I didn't even know this.
That's what
musical
actually
existed.
I had said when I left, and after the first time I saw it, I thought, oh, and I said it to myself, this is not what I expected.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
And like, just especially right now to give audiences a fun gift like this. Like, all I wish is that they leave being like, I had a great night at the theater.
I completely agree with that. I agree with that. And something that I want to point out is it was funny. There's a moment in the show towards the end when two spellers are left. And I am looking out into the audience and I could just see these smiles and invested expressions on people's faces and how much they were a part of this and on this journey with us and on this ride. And it's funny because you mentioned Act 2 and we spoke a little bit about this yesterday. You used the word darker, which is maybe fair, but it's just, Act 2 is when a lot of the heart comes in and we start to feel like we care about these kids and we're more invested in a way that is beyond comical. So when that happens, you feel like you're rooting for them in a different way beyond the physical and the voices that they're doing because they're your favorite, because they're funny. You're rooting for them for a different reason because now you're getting to know them and their stories. So that was really cool to see those faces and just people were like beaming and it was almost like emotional faces out here because it really does kind of take this interesting turn. Wonderfully so, because I think, again, that's what makes it such a good show.
It's a tremendous show.
Yeah.
It's a tremendous show. You mentioned the word gift to the audience. And there are times when we're in a production that we anticipate because we know there's something we're about to give them. There's some moment that if we do it correctly, the house will just either quiet down. They want to hear every single word or breath that you take. Are there moments in this one where you're like, I cannot wait till we get to do this?
I think that's the I Love You song for me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think especially because Rona is so high energy and so controlling and frantic and excited all the time that I get to switch and play Olive's mother. And we don't meet Olive's mother. This is just Olive's vision of her mother. And she becomes this like very soft and warm and loving woman. And so it's kind of a shift from like what the audience knows as Rona to like a motherly figure. And so I look forward to giving them that like soft, warm ballad.
Yeah. And that's like one of the best moments in the show. So understandably so.
I love it.
I really love when that dun, 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 I love Pandemonium. There's this, it's a number. There are no production numbers, but I guess it's maybe the
you could call it a production number. The set moves. Yeah. So yeah.
And it's just fun. It's just, it's just such a fun thing to do. And I just hear those chords and it also feels like a little bit of like a rock star moment for me. It's just fun. And I know that everyone is going to love what's happening in that moment and on that stage. The audience participants are a big part of it. And I just love seeing how the audience eats up what they're doing and how we pull them into the show and eats up the chaos. And it's just a lot of fun. So that one always brings me a lot of joy when I hear those chords and I hear that word and it's, come on. I love.
And it's joyful to watch you do that number for sure.
It's a lot of fun. So look out for it when you see it tomorrow.
Thanks.
You'll know.
You'll know.
So this is me now being selfish about actors and the mechanics and everything. When did you know that you wanted to be an actor? What do you remember the show? Do you remember the time that you said, oh my God, I would love to do that? And then you bought in and then you actively sought out roles and stuff.
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
That's a great question. This is a story that I think is so funny to tell, and my mom loves telling it. We were going through this was maybe around COVID, so 2020. We were going through my box, like everyone. Do you know the box that has all your old?
Oh yes,
all your old
report cards.
Yes, all your old school projects and all your report cards and all the pictures.
Arts.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So we found a school project from when I was in kindergarten, and it was a timeline. It was a timeline, and it said I don't know. I think kindergarten year 5. So it was when I was 5, and it said. every year, like, you will do this, you will do this, you will do this. And it said 2029 famous actor.
What?
When I was 5. I have this actual piece of, it's like a timeline and it says it, 2029. And it's a stick drawing.
My God.
It's a stick drawing of me like a stick figure
on stage,
like this.
like a star.
Oh, they can't see me. Just arms open wide with like,
a spotlight.
with yellow beams.
I can't wait for 2029. What's Broadway doing?
Isn't that funny? So
was there a show that made you think that?
You know, when I talk about first experiences, I think my first Broadway style show was Broadway in Chicago. I saw The Lion King, funnily enough.
Oh my gosh.
But it was much later. I think I was like maybe 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why. I've always wanted to perform. I've always wanted to be an actor. I've always wanted to be on stage since I was 5. So me and my mom love telling that story to people because they're like, well, how long have you been doing this? And how long has it been an interest to you? At that specific moment where I knew, I don't know, you know, my parents talk about me running the grease tape into the VHS into the ground, and never stop watching it over and over again. Of course, you know, I did community theater and whatnot. I can't pinpoint a specific moment or how I knew, but it's always been a part of my life. It's always been what I wanted to do. I've always done it.
Fascinating.
Yeah. So it's wild to say at 5 that I had drawn.
Man, the timeline. That's crazy.
So obviously the teacher was like helping us with the year.
Sure.
You know, like,
this is how old you will be.
Right. So that year was the final, like where it ended. So it's just funny that it's always been.
That's fun.
Yeah.
You have to frame that.
Yeah.
No
we
kidding.
found it and now we like put it away.
Yeah, to save it.
There.
That's like when you open a business and you save your first
Yes.
sale, your dollar bill.
Yeah.
I wish that this would have, I took a picture of it in my phone. I wish I had it handy I have so many pictures on my phone, but to show it to you guys so you guys could see, but it's very cute. And
I can visualize it. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Sarah?
I mean, very similarly, performing has always, been in my life. I think I was 6 when I saw my first production of Annie at the Oakdale Theater in Connecticut with my grandma. And I kept asking her, is it over? And she was like, no. I was like, is it over? And finally, after like the 10th time of asking, she was like, why do you keep asking? And I was like, because I never want it to be over.
Oh.
And I was in dance class like my whole life. I did competitive dancing my whole elementary school, middle school, high school. And it wasn't until like high school where I got into musicals. And I always had a natural singing voice, but I never honed it. And I had never honed any acting. I was kind of just known as the dancer who could also act and sing. And then I was auditioning for a production of Pippin my junior year of high school.
So much meat in that interview. My goodness, I had such a great time out there in Tamworth at the Barnstormers Theater. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord on your transistor radios. NHTalkRadio.com is where you can find out more about this show and all the other great stuff happening here. We got one more block to come. We'll be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. I hope you're enjoying this interview as much as I had such a great time doing it. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM for the people in Concord on your transistor radios, 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester. We got the final block coming up. You know what? Let's just do it. Sir.
And I wanted to play the leading player at St. Paul Catholic High School in Connecticut. And so I did the monologue for my mom and she was like, I don't believe you. And it made me like really think about like, what does it take to be an actor? Like, how do I not just be a dancer? And like, what do I need to learn to be able to transform into characters and like portray different people and become different things? And it was that night I like kind of asked the universe, like, what should I do musical theater? I kind of love this. And I turned on my favorite TV show before bed and the main character walked down the stairs and said, let's go explore the world of musical theater. that same night.
What?
And so I was like, I'm doing musical theater.
I'm amongst like the charmed life people here.
Like,
What?
that's also a cool. That's like an awesome.
And so I wrote my college essay, sent it off to Boston Conservatory. I wrote it about that experience and said, I want to do this. Please accept me. And I did.
Wow.
And so I've never not been performing in some capacity. And throughout, there's been like sprinkles of the universe being like, no, this is what you are meant to do.
Are there still roles left out there that you really want to do, that you're really hoping you get the chance to do?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm old.
For sure.
And one of my regrets is that I didn't focus more on things. I just took acting for granted. There's things now that I look back and I thought, man, if I had a chance, I should have done that. You know, are there roles that you're sitting out there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think similarly, like I never thought of roles until my 30s. And I was like, oh no, wait, like you can play roles. And I really think my career trajectory, like into my 60s, I have so many roles to come, like Mrs. Lovett. Yeah. I would love to play the mother in Ragtime. Like I have a lot of roles. Yeah.
Lee, you?
Yeah, I think a dream of mine is, and the dream of mine that I really want to do is Coal House in Ragtime. And then a dream of mine that I don't understand why it hasn't happened. And I'm like, I know that will happen. I just need to be patient. Is I would just, for some silly reason, really love to do Beauty and the Beast. And I would love to be the Beast or Lumiere or I guess any of the males. I just love that show.
Yeah.
So that would be something that I would love to do. There are many roles I could do, but they always told me this in school, and I used to feel some type of way about it. It would get on my nerves when they said this, but I really embraced it as an adult and as a professional. Is they would say to me, you are going to do really well in the business because you're right for everything and perfect for nothing. And when I started to get to New York, I would see my friends chase these roles and like chase Lola in Kinky Boots and chase, these specific roles. And it started, I was always like, I don't really have roles but you can do all of them. And when I sat down right after I got my equity card and I took my agent meetings, this conversation kind of came up what we're talking about now. And I mentioned this and they were like, that's really a great thing. And I was like, I think it is because I think the way that I've stayed in it and the way that I continue to work, especially with boys who are in my lane and are my type, is these boys all do something very specific, one thing, and they do this, and they're a tenor who can kick their face, or they're a classical singer who can do this. And I think that I like to think that I can kind of do a variety of things. So I do have my dream roles, but I like to be like, I'm open to whatever. And I'd love to take anything that comes my way and whatever, when I get a casting or something comes through the table through my agents, I'm always, even if at first I'm kind of like, this is not really what I do, or I don't really want to do this. I'm like, you know what? No, let me go ahead and put the work and put everything into the tape and put everything into what I'm doing, or show up in the room and do the work, because you never know. Yeah. And I think that when you count yourself out, again, it shows from the jump, So I think those are the dream roles, but also I like to stay open to anything.
Same. I want to work and play anything and everything that I can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So acting for you is still refreshing. You still enjoy it. It's not just I'm getting paid, I'm here, I'll do it,
No. Yeah.
Good. That's what I was hoping you'd say, but yeah.
No, I'm chasing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think when you realize now as an adult that it is a job and a career and a profession, you really start to understand what it takes and what you have to do to keep that up. And I think even with this show in particular, I was quite sick in the beginning of the process and I'm just now getting to 100% health. I'm very happy about that. But now knowing on the tail end of it, it's like, this is my job. I love being here and I'm obsessed with Tamworth and I love New Hampshire and I want to be running the fields and jumping in the lakes and up shouting and hanging out all night. But like, I have a job to do. So I know now my mindset has kind of switched a little bit to what it was in Something Rotten, where I was completely healthy and it was wonderful and I was having the best time. I'm still having the best time, but I know that I need to approach this show and role and experience a little bit differently because I'm a little bit more fragile. So I know that I need to do my job.
Yeah.
So I think it still is wonderfully refreshing, and it reminds me that I think it's a testament to us both doing it for such a long time, as it means something that people can depend on you.
Yes.
We've both been hired back here, many times. And I think it's also for a reason of we can do our jobs and we, are dependable and we show up and we're on time and all these things.
Also bring fresh energy. And,
yeah.
And
So
we don't just phone it in.
Yeah. When you approach it from that way.
Yes.
It shows, and the energy and the life that you kind of breathe into the peace in the room and the experience really, can be magnified in that way.
Sticking with the professionalism of it, for folks who don't know, go through a little bit about the pre-audition. So auditions are coming up for all the theaters, and they want to get their summer stock stuff going. Do you focus on what shows are going to be in that season, or are you more just interested in, I'll do anything, I just want to go and I want to perform in Maine or, Chicago or something. What's important to you as an actor before you say yes to anything? What are you looking at?
Great question. I think I as a, actor would have answered that differently over the years. I think now what I'm looking at is, in order for me to sustain myself and continue to do this and pay my bills, as I'm looking at money, what the theater's paying. I'm looking for my health insurance weeks. We're both in the union, so we can buy into our health insurance weeks, which is a complicated process.
But park that right there.
I'm looking at if I get my weeks from the contract. And then I'm looking at the piece and the season or the shows and feeling like if I want to and feel like I can contribute something to that in a way. Back in the day, I used to show up to every audition, and if they said, "Can you run around the room and bark?" I would do it.
Yeah.
And I think now, being a little bit older and just kind of knowing who I am and where I'm at, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. So I think I want to be there and I want to feel like I can contribute something and give something to a role or a season or a place in a way that is mutually beneficial for me and the theater.
Absolutely. I think, pay rate is usually first, but I think I'm in a place where in my young 20s, I was going to like any and every dance call I could just to be in somebody's chorus, like sending my headshot to everybody.
Yeah.
I think now I am a little more settled. I moved out of New York City to kind of find a life. So I'm now in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Oh. And I think what's important to me is theaters that I care about. And I care about making good theater at these theaters that I love so much.
Yep.
And so that is where my focus is right now. I look at the theater and do I want to like partner with them with my talents and put in the work to be a part of their season. So it's kind of where my head's at now.
That leads me to the next question, which I'm curious, where's your future headed? Are you content with regional theater, which I happen to love, but, or is the allure of Broadway like in the back of your head? Or can you like say, you know what? I don't need Broadway. I'm having a wonderful time. I'm giving the gift of, theater to people. Where are you, in a headspace for that?
Yeah.
Really great question again.
Yeah. I am content with regional theater, at the moment in this time. I think regional theater right now especially needs to elevate. And so I am kind of in the mindset if really strong, like professional working actors are working in good regional theaters, like that can be the Broadway of Iowa. That can be the Broadway of Wisconsin.
Well, there you go. There's a lot more to it than that, but hey, what can I say? We only got so much time. You have been listening to NH Unscripted. We have been coming to you from the Gong Show-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM, 101.9 FM. And for the folks in Manchester, nhtalkradio.com is our URL. We will see you on the next one.